Hello, Jamaritas, Pam Engel, and I am doing part 2 of vendor shows today. I received several questions from my first video, and I definitely wanted to make sure I addressed it. I received questions on how to do vendor shows with multiple reps. What do you do when you borrow inventory from another rep, and what to do after a vendor show. So I'm just going to try and answer those as best as I can. When you do a vendor show with multiple reps, you always run into the issue of how do you divide the leads and how do you pay for the cost of the show. So let's tackle cost. That one's pretty easy. If you're going to have 2 vendors working your table, if you and a friend are going to work at the same table, split the cost of the event. If you have to pay for the event and donate an item, maybe one wants to cover the fee, one wants to cover the raffle item. Just divvy it up, make it fair. Secondly, how do you divide leads? So if you watch part 1 of this video, you know that I like to use the contact survey cards from Dashboard. So at the end of the event, there are several contact cards that you and your friend should be dividing. But then you kind of run into the issue, and this has happened before, you run into the issue where maybe you received 40 leads, let's say me and my friend Janet were at the show. And we, at the end of the day, have 40 leads. But Janet was sort of tired. She sort of wanted to be on her phone. So Janet only got 10 of those leads, and I got 30 of them, let's say. Then you run into issues with, well, that one was mine. No, that one was yours. Well, you didn't offer the opportunity. Like, it kind of gets a little touchy. So I don't like to divvy them up at the end. I think the most fair thing to do is take turns approaching customers that come to your table. So what I would do is I would, if it was my turn first, I would see somebody walking by and I'd say, ladies, would you like to take a free sample of Jamboree nail wraps home with you? They'd come up, I'd give them the clipboard with the contact card. And while they're filling it out, that's my 30, 45 seconds to kind of tell them, hey, have you heard about Jamboree before? We do Facebook parties, blah, 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 blah. I'm always looking to have more people join my team, blah, 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 blah. So as they're filling it out, they're checking, right? And that's when they might check, yeah, I want a Facebook party. Yeah, I want to join your team. Send me some info. Afterwards, I'm also still talking to them like, oh, I love your necklace. Where'd you get it? Oh, your child's so cute, blah, 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 blah. I'm building a relationship with them. So it only makes sense for me to follow up with them. Plus, it's really going to depend on how well I pitched it, right? So I think that's when I would determine, that's how I would determine who gets to follow up with who. So once the lady finishes filling out the clipboard, I'll take her contact survey card back, and on the back of it, I'll write my name. I'll just put Pam, and I'll enter her into the raffle box. Remember, I also gave her, before I enter it into the raffle box, I see if she wants to host a party, boom, I give her the hostess packet right then and there. She wants to join my team, boom, I give her the opportunity packet right then and there. And remember, these items have my contact information, and they cost me money to prepare. So, you know what I mean? So if you're doing a table with multiple reps, definitely each one of you should bring your own sets of opportunity packets, your own sets of hostess packets, because they have your info on them. So I give her whatever she wants, put it in the raffle. I write my name on it, put it on the raffle. And I think that's the fairest way. So I approach one customer, then I sit down, then it's my friend Janet's turn, and then Janet approaches the next customer that comes up. Plus, sometimes there's so many customers that come up, both of you are going to be needing to handle all the customers, you know what I mean? So I think that's the best way to do it when you do a vendor show with multiple reps. Okay, inventory. I want to talk about inventory. If my friend Janet lends me 10 wraps to do a show and I sell 2 of them, what do you do? How do you replace, or what do you do with Janet? So I think a lot of you guys are thinking that you give Janet the money back, and that is wrong, because then you're pretty much working it for her. You just basically went, if you sold 2 wraps, you collected $30, let's just say. You collected $30 and then you gave it back to Janet. What did you get? Nothing. That's not how you do it. So if you go to a vendor show, Janet lends you 10 wraps, you sell 2. What you're going to do is you collect the $30 from the customer, and you're going to go home and you're going to enter an order for those 2 wraps using those $30. Why? Because number 1, you get to get PRV, which is the most important thing here because that's going to help you promote, help you get fast start, help you get everything. You get the PRV, and number 2, you'll earn the commission that way, which is the right way. Why do I say the right way? Because what you could do, which is wrong, you could give Janet, if you got $30 for 2 wraps, you could give Janet back 10, 50 times 2, $21, and you keep the 9. But that's wrong because that's against our policies and procedures. So we're not allowed to buy wraps at a discounted rate. So that's why I say you have to take the money from the customer and then place an order to get the PRV, which is going to help you, and collect the commission the right way. And then you simply order Janet's wraps back and you give it to Janet. So you are simply borrowing 10 wraps from Janet. Let's say you sell them all and then you just replace them all. So make sure that Janet is aware that if you're using her wraps, it might take you a little bit to replace them because you have to order them if they are sold, with shipping and everything. Okay, I also want to talk about post vendor shows. After a vendor event or vendor show, there's 2 things I think you should do. Number 1, I think you should personally go up to the event coordinator and thank them. It only take you a minute. You can have your bags on your shoulders, ready to go out the door. Just go up and say, thank you so much. I had a great time. I look forward to doing the spring, summer event or whatever. And then I would also send them a thank you card or an email just so they kind of get to know that you're the Jamboree lady. I mean, what if next year another Jamboree rep comes along? They might remember you and be like, oh, you know what? I already have a Jamboree consultant. Let me see if they want to do it this year. Or, they might give you preference. So it's kind of good to build a relationship with the coordinator as well. And secondly, the most important thing to do after a vendor event is to follow up with all your contacts. And I have to admit, this is the most boring part, but it's also exciting. It stinks because it takes some time to do, but it's exciting because you gave out all those opportunity packets, all those hostess packets. These people are great leads. So I would definitely follow up with everyone, and I would try and do it as soon as possible. Even if it's a quick little text message that says, hey, it was so nice meeting you. I'll follow up with you on Monday, or, anything like that. I do want to let you know, sometimes when you get the contact survey cards back, sometimes people will say, no, I'm not interested in hosting a party. No, I'm not interested in joining your team. What they do not check off, what I believe what is not an option, is buying products. So you could still call them and say, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you on application, see how it went. I was wondering if you'd be interested in placing an order. We have all these great festive wraps, blah, 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 blah. So they don't want to join your team. They don't want to host a party, but you definitely should follow up and see how their application went. Plus, remember, that's how you got them to fill out the clipboard. You said, hey, do you ladies mind if we exchange contact information so I can follow up on your application? So you kind of do want to make sure you keep your word. So that's it. After the vendor show, make sure you thank the coordinator and make sure you follow up. I hope that has covered all your questions. If you have any other questions, definitely please feel free to let me know and I'll make another video. Thank you.